Welcome to listening to Paint Dry, the live stream about the art and hobby of miniature painting. I'm Mike.
I'm Dev, and that just joining us right now, hot in the middle of the stream, is Dan. Thank you for joining us. Hey, there we go. Thank you for joining us on our continued quest to become better, braver, and happier painters. Mike, you may want to turn the volume off on that one because that's just feedbacking like crazy.
I don't think he even understands what's going on.
I'm just putting it out there.
I mean, are we actually going to get to see Dan today, or do we just get little mustached hot dog?
You're just going to get the mustached hot dog.
What's different than normal? I mean, what's the difference?
Thanks, Mike.
Well, we've
my mustached hot dog has scars. This one does not.
We've had some fun times getting going tonight. So welcome everybody.
Oh, cool! I don't feel so bad now.
You actually have literally missed nothing, Dan, despite me, despite us.
Darn it! I was really trying.
Well, you know.
Yeah, I gotta find my camera.
Way it goes sometimes.
The drivers
so, anyways,
work.
while Dan is still getting himself in here, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of the show that we're doing. Today will be about, first we'll do our work in progress, normally what's going on and on our painting desk. Then we are each going to share whatever is on our holiday wish list for ourselves and for the hobby in general. And then we will get into the hotly contested, often violent debate about Bluesky versus X. And just so everybody knows, we are now on Bluesky and our handle is LtPD. We don't have anything posted yet because I literally just joined within the last 5 minutes, and we'll clean that up and get some stuff out. We are getting poised to kind of do more social media stuff here going as the new year approaches, as my schedule calms down a little bit more and I can actually get on and post things. Deb, you were going to start us out with the work in progress stuff, right? Until Dan, you're going to get started and Dan's going to come on right as you get started.
Absolutely. Right? But fortunately, nobody else will see that because I just transitioned the screen to my top-down camera. So
you guys can't hear me, right?
Unfortunately. Did I say that out loud?
Checking. I don't see me for some reason. My camera's not working.
So this is the Lone Guard Infiltrator that I've been working on most recently. I've actually been practicing painting on camera, so almost all of this is actually in frame. Some of it I drifted a little bit, but I've been working particularly on like defining volumes on skin tones and horrific muscle masses. Definitely still some work to do there. But this little chap comes from Relic Blade Storms of Corral starter set, and he is part of the Lone Guard faction. But the starter set actually has like a mix and match of different kind of faction types, because you're pretty flexible in who you can ally with in Relic Blade. So I've been having some fun with that. And then on Monday's stream, I finally finished the Slayer Squid, who is also from the same box set, playing on the Adversaries side. But definitely had some fun. I was doing the NMM bronze armor there with the weathering. Pretty quick, but a lot of fun. So those are the main things I've been doing. I'm now prepping to paint up some more Lone Guard here. The Pikeman, who's my personal favourite, because I just love the artwork that Sean Sutter did for that character. So with that, I'll switch back to the main screen. And Dan, we saw a blip of you there. Are you actually getting on camera, or was that just...
I'm going to try. It just doesn't seem to be working.
He was teasing us.
Oh, it was just a little tease. Okay, fair enough.
Yes, it was a little peep show from Dan.
Just what I always wanted.
Me too. I don't know why my camera is not working properly. I don't get...
All right. Well, Mike,
like
what have you been working on?
All right. Well, give me one quick second. I am... sharing the YouTube. Instagram thing was fighting me. And I had hit share and didn't realize when I went back that it was not shared. Anyways, now it is shared. All right, so what am I working on? I have some fun stuff that I have been having a good time doing. I am focused on learning to paint busts, and I'm going to now share my entire screen because that seems to be the best way to do it. And then I'm going to do a slideshow from the current slide. And so I have 3 busts that I'm currently working on. The first is Rorschach from The Watchmen. I am trying to figure out who actually did this bust. It is no longer on the Cults 3D page where I got it from, and all I have found are community prints, and none of the people in the community have responded to me about who was the actual sculptor. So once I figure that out, I'll let everybody know. The other one is Count Richter von Schloss by Great Grimoire. That is a company that their aesthetic has always kind of ticked all my boxes for kind of noir horror, gothic feels to it and stuff. And I'm really working on trying to paint old skin, and I think it's coming out okay. I think it's coming out okay. I got to do some work on the blending out some transitions and stuff and add in some more colors to the cheeks, but I feel like I'm actually kind of getting it. And then the other one there is Avalord by Dark Kingdom. This one, I kind of, because he kind of looks like Chris Hemsworth, kind of looks like Kurt Russell, kind of looks like Val Kilmer, and so I figured that could be everybody, anybody could open it up to interpretation. I haven't gotten very far on this guy yet. Like all the metals are just base coated, and I have a couple of highlights done on the skin and some shadow work and the base coat for the hair, but really have only spent a little bit, a couple hours on it, and you can see it is on an acrylic cube. Uh, I've had these for a few years, and I'm like, what the hell? I'll throw this on there. Might as well, right? I wasn't doing anything with it, but I will say one thing that I want to point out. This is kind of what drives me crazy, is finding gems that are actually shaped like that on the Count Richter von Schloss one. Um, Virtually impossible because the closest to that shape is a kite shape, as in go fly a kite, but these aren't, these are missing a lot of cuts, you know what I mean, like they're not really kite shaped or kite cut gems. So trying to figure out actually how to paint those has been I've spent a lot of time doing research and reference materials. And then the next one, which is totally a lot of fun to do, I've only actually started working on this guy today, but this is the, hold on, let me get it right, the Kenshiro Medium HEV1. Actually, no, I think that might be 2. This guy's 2. Yeah, this is HEV2. It is from the game Steel Rift, generously sent to us by Death Ray Designs, and I think this is going to be my color scheme. I'm going to add some white here and there, as Dan suggested, to add a third color to it. So I think I know where I'm gonna put some stripes on it here and there, but otherwise I'm kind of digging it. What do you think, Dev?
I really like those colors. I think Dan's right. I think some white would really help make it pop. Maybe some focus on the head and the upper torso, maybe. Because I think with the size of that sword and the brightness of the arms, you need something to draw the eye into the head.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're probably going to end up a little RX-78-2 Gundam, but yeah, it's okay. It's iconic for a reason.
I have no idea what that means, but I'll look. You're gonna have to text me that number because I don't. I to look it up. I have no idea what that means.
The OG of all Gundams, my friend, the RX-78-2. It's the original Gundam.
Oh, I thought he was red, white, and blue.
He is, but if you like the white and the blue on the helmet. Anyway.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. But
yeah.
I'm actually really excited to try playing this game when you come out for KublaCon. I'm looking forward to trying something a little different. I'm not normally a mech guy, so it could be fun.
Yeah, I know. Me neither. I'm not a game person, so this is all this is candy to me. So But yeah, I like the way the color scheme's coming out. You know, it's honestly with these type of miniatures, it's nice to not have to. There's so little metal on it that it would be kind of silly to do non-metallic metals on it. And I wanted to try for the sword. I was gonna try to make it look like a void blade, kind of like the dark saber from the Mandalorian. And I have black 2.0. And I was like, yeah, that'll be really cool. And then like edge highlight it with a light gray, and make a couple little like staticky scratches through it here and there. But unfortunately, my black 2.0 is a solid brick. That did not last a year. I'm I'm going to have to write Mr. Semple a message saying, "Hey, dude, your paint dried with the seal on it." You know,
Yep.
because I know that they're actually pretty good with whatchamacallit, with customer service. But that's my work in progresses right now.
Very nice. Dan, have you got anything to share? You're on mute, by the way, buddy.
Dan is muted.
I was hoping for some more Steel Rift. I mean, Dan's got the other faction, right?
Well, I have a starter set. He somehow managed to pan the starter set off on me this weekend or 2 weekends ago. I can't remember when I was down there.
It was last weekend. The weekend just gone, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was actually. You're right, because whatchamacallit, I made 2 trips to Fredericksburg that day. I drove down in the morning to hang out with him, went back home, and then I drove down to have dinner with family. Because I have a brother-in-law that has been given not such a great diagnosis. So, yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
So, it is. So, Adam, which I guarantee Adam is not watching this, but, you know, he's in my thoughts. And his wife and daughter are as well. So, but, yep. Life is a terrible thing sometimes.
And
we. Oh yes. Yes.
it is happening.
So
people. It's gonna happen.
when this happens, okay. So I am in communication right now with Artist Opus for the sponsorship for Youth Award stuff. You have to film it, and I'm going to send it to them saying we have found your next dry brush size.
Done deal.
Industrial. That is the listening to paint dry brush right there.
All right. I'll
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll have to figure out the camera work and stuff for that. I might do that as a little Christmas Day project or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to do with Dan. Can we? He's on mute. He's got a brand new computer. I don't know if he's trying to use that, and it's revolting on him. But it's, you know.
Oh, now I see what happened. Sorry, I was
even
pushing
see
the
the hot
wrong
dog
buttons.
thing? You can. Yeah,
Well
you can
done.
see the
Yeah,
hot dog.
you were muted in the software there, mate, I think.
Oh, well, someone could have said that because I had to listen to y'all while I was screaming at you and you weren't saying anything.
It's our favourite way to hear you scream at us, man. On mute.
On mute. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the dogs running around. Wife's trying to find out what's going on. Did I get bit by a snake or something? No.
Jeez.
Oh, dude, no jokes. The other day I went to pick up some old tarpaulin that I'd had on the deck of the porch of the deck of the house, and out falls a black widow spider. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not handling that again for a while.
Yeah, no kidding.
These,
Black Widow.
These
Woo!
lethal creatures, like, the UK doesn't have this stuff. It's a much safer place.
Yeah, you know, we get the Black Widow around here from time to time, but the one that kills me is, I can't remember the name of it, but I first saw it down in my dad's house in Southern Virginia, and he had an in-ground pool in the backyard, and the family room ran kind of alongside the pool and was an addition. Like when they bought the house, the addition was already there, but it has these 3 massive windows in it. one of the middle window was literally a web, and there was a spider sitting in the center of it, and its body had to have been at least 2.5, 3 inches long, but it looked like it was missing. It looked like it only had half the amount of legs, and we're like, oh wow, what is that thing? Well, and we found out because we researched it and found out what kind of spider it was. It actually puts its legs together so that way it doesn't look like a spider to other insects. And I'm like, all right, well, this I guess owns my dad's house now. And then I had one that made one, up where I am in Northern Virginia, make a web from our house to the lid of our trash can, and it was like this perfect mat thing like this, and it was absolutely gorgeous web, but terrifying spider. And I'm like, all right, well, the spider now owns the trash can. Gonna have to figure something else out.
Yeah. No.
They're just, and, yeah, they're terrifying. Bright yellow. Ugh.
Yeah, we get black widows a lot around here, unfortunately. Like I'm having to be careful, like opening trash can lids and stuff like that, because they like the dark, cool areas. And so, like,
Yes.
anytime you open anything that's outside, you kind of got to be careful.
Okay, so I will definitely be staying at a hotel when I come out there.
Fair enough.
Because you're in a very wooded area, and I'm sorry, spiders give me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, I can.
Just. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I am freezing right now because of this talk of spiders.
All right. Well, now that we've got Dan back, should we hear what Dan's been up to? Have we lost Dan again?
Yeah, I
I
keep
think we
forgetting to
lost
push
him.
this stupid button.
So,
That's all right. We're not really talking to anybody.
what have you been up to, Dan?
Let's see. I've been researching paint schemes for Grimdark. It's taken a lot of time. That's about it.
Dan is focused on trench, well, and reading the trench. What is it? The trench code.
Crusade.
Or what?
It's just
Oh.
such a fun lore game. I could for the page and a half of lore, boy, it allows the imagination to go. So it's been kind of fun. But work has been super effing busy, and then I've been doing interviews. Like, I don't get an opportunity to do too many like multi-layer interviews with multiple people. So I guess as you climb the corporate ladder, then there's more and more people's butts you got to sniff. So I got another freaking interview I have to go to, but it's a big one. So we'll see that. And yeah, the holidays have kind of like taken some of the time up also. So I have not been doing any hobbying except for sleeping, eating, and doing work. And looking at Trench Crusade paint schemes.
I'm super curious about Trench Crusade because I was aware of the Kickstarter and also aware of the I'm just not backing Kickstarters right now. So I'm kind of curious. I have to say, like, the lore that I've encountered so far does not massively intrigue me. It's a little too grimdark, but
it's got some neat stuff, and a lot of people are like, oh, you have to have this or you need to have that. It's like, no, it's actually a freaking holy war.
That, I mean, the kicker for me,
what it is.
Yeah, the kicker for me is anytime religion gets involved, I lose interest, and so it's like, well,
and there's a lot of people that say that, and that's cool. But it's just very unique, and maybe there's not a whole lot of games out there that involve like traditional religions, and it's not just like Catholicism. It's all the major religions to an extent. Because there's a lot of people that say, well, what about mythology? You can bring that into the game, and some of the folks are like, well, no, that's not what it's meant. This is what the game is about. It's like Space Marines against Tyranids. It's not, it's not just battles against orcs. It's Space Marines and Tyranids. So I'm sure that the developers have a way to weave that together to expand it. to make things more interesting. But with the limited amount of information people have, they are making some fantastic sculpts. They're doing wonderful work at like combining different I guess historical mythologies together, and it's been kind of fun to just watch that. Just like 40K, I love 40K lore. Can't stand the game, so it'd be kind of fun to see where this goes. And I hope it's a fun game. And I think, Mike, did I throw a whole bunch of those STLs in our folder? I didn't throw any. Okay,
No.
I just threw the big giant
Nope.
ones, like the 1/2 scale, like freaking things. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, the stuff that you sent are all from that guy Carlos,
Oh,
CA3D or
okay.
something like that. Yeah, CA3D. Yep.
Well, I think
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out where I stored all my shit too, since I had to reformat my new computer like twice and get that working. So I finally got it working after 3 days. And now everything's on the fucking cloud, which I don't want it. And now I got to try to go
Right.
find it. Delete it one place and it disappears from everywhere. So I'm like, well, it's a good thing I have, like every old person, I have triple backups of everything on hard drives and everything printed out too. So I have cartons of paper of all my old documents in case I need it. Then I just rescan it and then put it back into the computer if I need to. Or I just bring out my typewriter and just retype it so that I have an extra copy for it.
Nice.
I mean, I guess paper doesn't corrupt; it just goes moldy, right? So
pretty much,
Right.
yeah.
Exactly.
So
Well,
yeah,
cool beans. Yeah. I'll be looking forward to seeing those files and getting them set up. You just got to let me know.
Oh,
you
we'll
want me to
see.
print for
Yeah,
you.
we'll see when we send it. It's probably not going to be for a while anyway, only because it's just, starting this week, things just get sideways. I mean, you have the parties, you have the holidays happening in, 10 or 12 days or whatever it is. You have, and then you have the extended one. So it's just, and before you know it, you have New Year's, go back to work for a week, inauguration, burn the world, planes, trains, automobiles. It's just, yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a brave new
Possible-
world.
Hey, do you
yeah,
think they're going to
exactly.
board up DC again, Dan?
I'm not sure. Everybody seems to be kind of like even kill until you like get into like small conversations, and then everybody's just like, whoa. So I can't talk about the job, but it was a very interesting conversation because there is a direct lineage between some of the new administration's ideas and this job. And when I asked a question about how they feel about it, I got a lot of wide-eyed stares and the funky chicken tap dance. I was like, "Come on, man, just be straight with us. We know what's going to happen. Talk to me about it. Do I need to waste my
Right.
time with extra interviews?"
Right, especially since it's coming, right? Like the new administration is inevitable. It's not a Anyways, besides
Yeah, it's not, but I'm just spawning on the fun of it. So, yeah.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm at with things. Lots of nothing going on.
And one thing I wanted to throw out and share with everybody that is just me, because I'm the only person watching right now. No, we have 3 people now watching. That's great. Awesome. So let us know who's watching. That'd be awesome. But I was on, I recorded an interview with JT Stark last night for his podcast. He is a really good friend I met at ReaperCon a couple of years ago, and we've been pretty close kind of since then. We hit it off really well. And he will be the next time we do our artist focus. I'm going to have him as our artist focus because I also think it's very impressive that JT is battling MS and medaling and painting competitions, which is freaking impossible. It blows my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how hard he works and how hard he paints. He's a great guy, and hopefully we can bring some attention to the great community that he's building up in northern Canada. So
Yeah.
But,
for sure.
yeah, definitely.
Yo, you said
Once we get
Northern Canada?
Yeah, he's far
he's
out.
up high.
Was he like
Yep.
hanging out with polar bears and Russians and shit?
That's what. He's up there. I don't know how far up he is, but also I believe he's an electrician by trade. So, um,
I don't know.
so
Southern
he's
Canada is too far north for me.
right. It's a little cold, for sure. But anyways, so yep. Once that episode goes live, I'll share it on our social medias and stuff like that. You can hear me babble way too much because that's what happens. My daughter is one of my daughters is correct. I did graduate from Yappin University, so do have a tendency to run my mouth. But so since you're here now, Dan, why don't you? Part of what we're going to do tonight is a quick what is on our holiday wish list, and you have anything that you're asking for this year for Christmas or hoping to get under the tree?
Well, since I haven't seen the notes, I don't have anything special on my Christmas list. So maybe you guys can go first so I can go to Amazon and see what I want for Christmas.
I think Mike better go first.
Actually, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Well, if Mike goes, then he just, yeah. He can send us a link to all the stuff that he wants. And then.
Oh, my hobby wish list. I had actually quite a few things this year. I had a couple of I always use Christmas to refresh my brushes. I have one of the I don't have the Rogue. Was it? What is Louise Sugden?
Rogue Hobbies, yeah.
Her paint set from Monument. So I have a couple of Monument brushes and her paint set, and then other side of the hobby is I do actually have a new microphone and headset for closed back headphones, because my God, these are the ones I'm wearing are shredding. Like literally, just the pads on them are falling apart. So that's where I am. I'm pretty quick. Nothing exciting or extravagant. I mean, otherwise, I put on the list to get Dan some tidy whities and Deb some tea flavored beer.
Ooh, I'd try that. I'd try that. I finally found a non-alcoholic beer. I've already drunk it all, by the way, which is why it's not been in my hand. But I finally found a non-alcoholic beer that actually tastes delicious. It's a kind of like a dark lager style beer, but really, really tasty. So highly recommend that.
Yeah, I went for a cherry flavored non-alcoholic beverage.
Branching out from your Coke to cherry Coke is
to cherry Coke.
A step indeed,
exactly.
man. A step indeed.
So I had to travel, like, I don't know where I went, and I finally found a bottle of vanilla Coke, because I haven't seen that shit in months. So they better bring it back, Coke. Please bring it back.
Oh, it's in. You gotta do Northern Virginia. It's always in the 7-Elevens up here.
Shit, I'm not driving up there for a Coke.
So did you guys?
I gotta tell you though. Go ahead.
I should, but
I was going to ask, did you guys ever get to try Crystal Pepsi? Because that never got launched in the UK, and I was still in the UK when it was.
I did, and I drank a 2 liter. I drank a 2 liter the first day it came out, and that was it. I never touched it again.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
I heard so many people
you being
rave
a
about
teenager. It is just a gimmicky thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
like
it wasn't.
Coke.
Oh well, no, that's on a different. New Coke was on a different planet. That's considered one of the greatest marketing fails in history.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Like, or product launch fails in history.
Yeah.
Crystal Pepsi was overall a flop. I thought it tasted like crap. I mean, like, I really never liked it. It didn't taste like it. Maybe I'm just accustomed to the flavor of Caramel Color 9. But I mean, honestly, it didn't taste much different than like a Sprite, or actually closer to 7-Up, which I really don't like 7-Up unless it's like in a mixed drink. Like a 7 and 7, I'm down for from time
Oh,
to
that's
time. But you know,
disgusting, dude.
Sneaky Pete
it's
is
wonderful.
talking about Pepsi Blue, which I hadn't even heard of. So
Mhm.
yeah, Sneaky Pete. I never tried that one. I don't know if Dan or Mike did.
Isn't that a recent one?
I think it.
That's like the
I've
blueberry
heard of
flavor,
it.
didn't it?
I've heard of it, but I've not tried it. But I'll tell you what was slamming was Pepsi Mango. Pepsi Mango was so good. Oh my God. Like I randomly in a Walmart by me, they have it and I have to grab a couple of bottles of it, but it was so good. I was really surprised. Um,
So
but
Sneaky Pete
I had
is now in the chat, and he's trying to convince us all that we should create actual Amazon wish lists and share them on groups. So I think really what he's angling for is that we need a wish list to share on our OnlyFans. I think that's where this is going.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Listening to paint dry.
Pepsi
Dark.
Pepsi Blue was apparently late 90s, according to Pete. So again, before my time in the US, and the UK apparently doesn't get these fun varieties. So
You didn't get like starry and shit like that, like cotton candy flavor and the fucking Oreo flavored and all those experimental things
So
they did lately.
funnily enough, the Oreo flavored Coke did actually get launched in the UK, and I actually bought several cans of it and really quite
Ugh.
liked it. But the way that
Really?
the way that I drank it is as a Coke float with vanilla ice cream. And
Okay, I give you that. That sounds good,
pretty
actually.
good. It was pretty good.
That sounds good. I
Yeah,
can't argue with
I will
that.
give you that
sounds
one.
good.
That
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
if
And I'm not a root beer person, but I love me a root beer float.
I'm not a root beer person,
Oh.
I don't think I've ever tried a root beer float. We always grew up with Coke floats. Root beer's not a thing in the
Oh,
UK.
well, next time you come down after your peanut butter and jelly sandwich, we'll give you a root beer float.
All right, amen.
I gotta find a tea flavored beer.
So Sneaky Pete's talking about orange Coke in Germany, which I think what he's talking about is called Mezzomix, and it's literally a blend of 50-50 orange Fanta, and Coca-Cola, and it is actually delicious. It is amazing. It's a really, really good beverage. So
I can't see chat. I can't see any chat at all on our show. I don't know why.
Oh, well, you got to have those special admin access or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Nope, that's not it.
Yeah, I can't see it either.
All right. Anything else on your wish list, Mike?
No.
You don't need some more STLs, because I know you've been sparing yourself from purchasing any of those recently.
Oh no, I have thousands for Mike.
I'm done. I got the bust. I did the Black Friday sale, and the only thing I have done is I have an idea for a bust diorama or a bust display, with Alice from this guy Carlos that Dan was talking about earlier, and I have the rabbit, I have the Mad Hatter, and I need I'm looking for other busts to kind of make like a circular display, like an oval display with Alice in the center and all the other busts around it.
Oh, do you need the Queen? I think I have one of those somewhere.
Is that the Great Grimoire one?
It might be.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at that. I don't know if it matched how it falls in line with the aesthetics of the other, but I'll look at it.
Yeah,
again,
I didn't.
Sure.
I wasn't. I was a fan of a couple of the. I mean, all the sculpts are really good. It's just the aesthetics just weren't quite there for that series. Because I like that whole universe, but it just didn't. It just didn't speak to me very much.
Yeah, they're her favorite model that she's done for me is the owl archivist, the owl sitting on top of the pile of books.
Yeah.
I gotta finish that. I gotta finish that goddamn model one day.
Yeah, you should, Mike.
Is that
Really
Wu Shitong inspired from Avatar, or maybe the Owl House?
I don't know. But if you look up Great Grimoire and the Archivist,
yeah, I just seen it.
you've seen my version of it.
Yeah.
I had it at ReaperCon. Well, I didn't. I can't lie. I haven't painted shit while I've been at ReaperCon, except frantically painting in a hotel room. Um, but nothing for fun. My inability to sit still is epic at a convention.
There's just too much going on. Too many people. Too much to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Dan, you
All
had
right.
enough time to think up a wish list of your own?
Yeah, I did find my wish list. I have one like Japanese uh model that is not related to Gundam or anything. Lots of audio stuff because
Mm.
audio first. Um, a sticker book. So get this, and don't shit this because I thought Miss A was making fun of me. So when we go to conventions, we get. Well, I mean, I do. I don't know about you guys. You guys probably get more than I do. Get a shit ton of stickers because we all handed stickers out and trade with each other and everything. And I was like, man, I don't want to use like my second ones. I want to hold on to them. And if they're really, really cool ones, I don't want to put them on something that, like a book that I might like be writing in and not have later on. So she's like, oh, well, they actually make these sticker books that you store your stickers on, and it has that material that you can reuse them if you need to. I was like, you gotta be
Oh,
effing kidding me. She's like, yeah, well, I bought myself one for like $3. I'm like, what? She showed it to me. I was like, you gotta be effing kidding me.
that is
So
so
all
cool.
these all these stickers, I have drawers of stickers from all the great artists and places that we go to. And I'm like, I didn't have a place really to display them without destroying them. Now I know, like, oh, so I definitely put that on my list. I'm sure one of the kids would buy it. And then I can display like all my freaking stickers. And I'm actually, of all the things, except for like a new house or a new car, that's pretty high up on my list of stuff. I'd be pretty damn excited because I can actually like have my stickers. And if I decide like, hey, this one's really cool, I want to stick it somewhere permanent, I can just like peel it off and then put it on a permanent surface.
That's nice. I like it.
So that's
Speaking of
one. I got
stickers,
some lights.
Oh yeah, sneaky peek, sneaky peek. Yep,
Oh,
it
does
is.
he have any?
It is the
Yeah.
listening to paint dry, hippie edition.
That is
Sticky.
my
yep,
favorite one. I'm really surprised how vibrant those colors are.
Yeah.
yep,
I thought I would
it's
have had to pay
beautiful.
extra. So I think next time I might do those again, but maybe make them holographic or something because I do like those.
Hey,
Ooh.
Deb, just so you know, there's going to be some in your the package I mailed.
Yes. Love it. I'm looking forward to that.
So yeah, cooking stuff, the sticker book, some lighting for streaming, some car wash stuff, some audio stuff, and I have zero painting stuff in here. Go figure. I think it's because I own it all because I got like 14 different freaking brands of paints and a garage full of freaking miniatures and 2 hard drives full of STLs that Mike needs to print off so that I can put them in the garage with the rest of my figures.
Sounds like a plan.
That sounds like a
It
plan
is.
indeed.
I'm
Anyhow,
so excited to get some of these things in and stare at them. So
okay.
yeah, like so for real though, I really don't have much hobby stuff on my list because I went out and I bought a bunch of stuff already, not thinking about it. And oh, so get this, Mike. So you saw my actually the way I should phrase this is like, oh my gosh, Mike, my wife found my stash of BattleTech mechs.
She didn't know they were there.
No, in our main living room, my main living room, half of my mechs are outside of boxes, and I put them on a shelf. And she didn't know. She walks by after Mike leaves. I don't know why. She's just like, wait a minute. Those things scared me. I'm like, what's wrong? Are they scary? She's like, Dan, you got to start painting your shit. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you better start painting your figures. I'm like, I do. And she's like, get him out of the freaking case and start painting them, dude. They're in a cabinet. It's so funny. And I was like, you honestly didn't know those were there? I sit there for hours sometimes playing with them, and you don't notice that. And she's just like, no. Wow. Now I know why I got married, because you just don't see. You just don't see me. So yeah, it was actually pretty funny because. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it was just a funny thing because I was just like, honestly, you really just didn't realize that I didn't have that all those mechs were there, and that's just those are just the ones that aren't in cases, and I still have a bunch of them inside storage too, and my metal ones, and so yeah, I don't need any more. So
no, but I wanted to show a better picture of the sticker, the new sticker.
Nice.
However you kind of get it. It's not, for some odd reason, it's being dull right now, but you know. But that's awesome that she totally hadn't seen your stash, and that's epic in nature. So why? It's really weird why your camera doesn't work, Dan.
I mean, it did work for a hot second, but then I think Dan changed something.
He broke it. All right, so Deb, your Christmas wish list.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like I had Christmas a little bit early, and it didn't even cost me any money. So I'm not sure how much I've mentioned this on the stream, but obviously we had like renovation work going on in the house, and the vast majority of my stuff has been in storage for, at this point, for years, between moves back and forth from the US to the UK and like renovation stuff. I have not seen a good portion of my stuff in literal years. Like, I mean, some of it's been boxed up since 2014. And so, you know, as you can tell from like the mountains of stuff that are appearing every week behind me, I've finally been able to start getting some of this stuff out, and so I keep getting to rediscover things that I have not seen in ages, and it feels like I've just got a load of new stuff for free. And the result is like I'm getting stoked about like painting up a load of the terrain that I have, the secret weapon tiles I want to get painted up. I've got a bunch of MDF samurai buildings that I've had for ages that I want to get painted up. I picked up a load of the Warhammer Old World terrain sets when they came out because I had some credit with Herrick's Games and Hobbies, so I just dropped it on a bunch of that stuff. So I may be going on a bit of a terrain kick, but in terms of actually buying stuff, I'm really not feeling it. You know, as I said for Thanksgiving, I've kind of been like half tempted for Bamboo A1. That would be cool. It would be a distraction that I don't need right now. But other than that, I don't really have like anything on the wish list. I am pretty content with the things that I have at the moment. I'm enjoying cranking through Relic Blade stuff. I want to have most of that painted up. I want to get caught up on Warhammer. You know what? Actually, Warhammer Underworlds. They've just rebooted it. They've got the new box set and 2 new warbands coming out. I put those on the wish list, I think. That's about it for me. Everything else, I'm pretty happy. I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen. So I'm good for now.
So what about all you kids out there and listening land?
Yeah.
This is probably just Sneaky Pete at this point. What do you guys have on your list? Which is probably just Pete. Me and Pete.
Pete is saying he still has the little 3D print guy from a couple years ago, and he should probably paint it. I'm wondering if he's talking about our little avatar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I've got one of those that I should also probably paint at some point.
I have a whole bag of them I should probably paint.
Yeah, you should have a bunch of them too, Dev, unless you gave them all away.
I gave a good chunk of them away. I was
good.
But I do still have 1 or 2 floating around somewhere. There was one
And
that
I have
was.
about 14 trophy-sized ones.
Now you see the trophy-sized ones I have technically painted. That I have done.
Hey, we finally gave them away this year. We gave those away this year at the Nova Open. The ones you painted last year?
Nice. Good job. Good job. Yeah.
And what were you going to say? Sorry.
Who, me? I forgot.
Yeah. Okay.
Good job. So, I mean, the other topic that we did have for today was a conversation about where the hobby is going to lean in social media-wise. You know, we kind of posted it as Bluesky versus X, but I think at this point it feels like it's encompassing Threads, it's encompassing Kara, it's encompassing Instagram, maybe not Facebook. It feels like Facebook is a little bit of a different beast in some ways. Like a lot of Facebook stuff is more about events and things like that than just showcasing what you're doing. But I kind of raised this topic because I started on Bluesky maybe 2 weeks ago now. And I am absolutely loving it. It is all of the joy that I had with early Instagram. Super engaging. Like, you follow people and you actually see their content. It's not constantly pushing video content at you. It is such a great place to actually showcase your work. And it actually has that engagement, which is the thing that I was really lacking from Kara. I liked Kara a lot as a platform, but it was very traditional arts focused, and there really wasn't much activity on the miniature side, unfortunately. So yeah, Bluesky is now my one and only social media at this point. I killed my Instagram a while ago when they announced that they were going to be mining it for AI. Yeah, I'm all in on Bluesky, people.
Oh, that's a real shame because I put all of my work online, and I'd really hate for someone to steal my miniature art.
You know, I get that. Like, it's a physical object, right? Photos of it are not the same thing, but it does feel like you're complicit.
That reminds me. So, and I don't know if this is real or not, or what this. I don't know what it is. So I do stay on Instagram because I have other interests rather than just miniatures. But I have noticed lately that, and it may just be totally fake, but they do have miniatures, and someone was able to animate them. That is the only instance I've been able to see where miniatures were used in that. That was cool, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like, you know, not really cool. It's a neat process, but the workings behind it aren't pretty cool. Unless someone was using their own figures, then I guess if they want to see, you know, their little space marine jump around and dance and stuff, I mean, I guess that's kind of cool, but without having to program it like a traditional animator would.
Oh, could you imagine if you painted those custodies and animated those? That would be so awesome.
Yeah, I got to paint those guys.
You do that. Yeah.
I've had those things for like 6. Those are definitely pre-COVID.
Yeah, those are pre-COVID.
That's like they didn't even have 3D printers back then. They just had to like pour the fucking resin in and shake up the bottle to make sure I got the bubbles out.
Right.
Dude,
well, just
I
so
got
everybody
shit
knows,
still in boxes from the fucking 80s.
Just so everybody knows, Pete, so you know, we are on Bluesky now. We'll start posting in the next week or so. Once we need to have a podcast conversation about how we want to handle social media moving forward, and who's going to do what and when and how and why. But my goal is to start posting more. I know by tomorrow I will have some posts up about the Steel Rift guy that is in my test color scheme, because we told Death Ray Designs we would post pictures, and so once I figure out where to put the white on it, I will counterbalance it. But anyways, so yeah, I think I've looked a little bit through the Bluesky stuff. It doesn't feel as overtly political as whatchamacallit is, as X can be, given the nature of the fact who the owner of X is quite a political individual, especially now that he's going to have a government appointment.
Woot woot.
Woot woot.
Boy, that's gonna be fun, and I might be involved with all that. It'd be kind of interesting. I can talk to you guys offline about it, but
I will say I'm not sure I agree. I think it is it is not. I mean, it is kind of political. Bluesky does feel kind of political. It's very liberal, progressive, especially like social progressive on a lot of the content. And you know, for me, that is much more my political leanings in general. But there definitely is politics there. I think more so than there is on Instagram, which is the one that I have experience with. I've never really engaged with Twitter or X, even back when Twitter was whatever it was, 130 characters. It was not really my scene. The visual piece, the photos and sharing of photos was always the thing that I wanted. And I also felt like even old school Twitter, because there was so much emphasis on reposting, you ended up just in these loops of seeing the same content over and over again and not actually seeing, like, even if you followed somebody, they would post one thing and they'd repost 80 other things. And so you just saw reposts that they'd shared, which isn't what I was interested in. I'm much more interested in the direct content. Now, Bluesky does have reposting, but it doesn't seem to be really going crazy, which is kind of nice.
Therein lies my issue with Facebook, right? And this is not a, nobody's wrong for doing this, but it does like when you follow somebody on Facebook or are friends with them, and they are in the same all the same miniature groups you're in, which I'm like in like 25, 30 miniature groups on Facebook. My first 10 minutes or scrolling are the same post reposted in each of those groups.
Yep.
And so I'm going to be honest, I really haven't done any Facebook, even for the podcast, in like 7, 8 months, just because I'm just tired of seeing, like, literally, like, you know, you'll see somebody posted in heavier metal, then in miniatures in color, and then you know, like, just somebody's staticky.
Oh, is that me?
Might be. But you know, that's actually what I struggle with Instagram, because I like the fact that you don't get a ton of the reposts. You don't get, and when I constantly go in and do a search, so my algorithm stays like 95% miniature painting. You know what I mean? Whereas our X account, when I go on our X account to advertise, I mean, it's politics and porn, really, that are in my feed, and I'm like, I don't follow any of this stuff. All we follow are miniature artists, and I don't search any of this stuff. Why is it there? And it's just force feeding content that I don't want to see. And because I'm like you, I don't use social media for anything else really except for miniatures. And yeah, because I'm an old fogey. So.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think increasingly the state of social media, and Sneaky Pete has a great point here, which is just that there are way too many networks and doesn't have the drive to post and be across all of them. And that is completely fair. I think the only reason that any of us make an effort to is because we are semi-professional in this space and we want to have brand presence in out there so that people can find us a little bit.
Can we say quasi? I think that might be even a little bit less than semi-professional, like quasi adjacent. Yeah, we're amateurs.
For all that it took us 10 minutes to even get started with the recording today. I mean, we do try, and we do take, we do take this podcast and the interviews and things fairly seriously, and we want people to be able to hear them, right? So we do have to play the game. We do have to be doing a little bit of the marketing piece as well, right? So,
right.
It's a lot. It's too much. It's unsustainable. I think at some point some of these are going to implode. I think what's going to end up happening is that social networks will just become more fragmented to your interest groups. And I think at the moment it feels like miniature painting. For a long time I would have said if there's one platform you need to be on for miniature painting, it's Instagram. I'm starting to feel like Bluesky is a possibility. I'm not sure it's going to win out. I hope it does, because I have strong feelings on the usage of AI and the usage of creators' content for the training of AI models in particular, but also just the environmental impacts of artificial intelligence that I think is potentially getting whitewashed a little bit.
Yep.
But I do think that Bluesky's just a really strong, friendly community. Yeah, there definitely is some political stuff. I wish there was a little less, honestly, because that's not what I'm there for. I'm there purely for miniatures. But when you follow people, you get the content of the people you follow. You don't get the content of what they're pushing down your necks. And I am hopeful that the fact that they're pushing subscription models over advertising may hold that to be true, and I guess we'll see. I am seriously considering a Bluesky Plus subscription if they announce them at the prices that they've been talking about, which is like $75 a year or something, which for me seems like a reasonable price to pay for a service that I'm using like that. So we'll see.
So for us socially challenged folks, what are you talking about with a paid service or a subscription service?
Yeah, so I mean, you see this a lot with online digital newspapers and stuff like the New York Times and things. Ultimately, websites need to pay for the hosting and the engineering work that goes into it, and the servers to provide access for everybody. And whilst that's not colossally expensive, it's not cheap. And traditionally the way that the internet has been funded is through advertising, and you would just suffer through ads, and you would get your content, and sometimes you even got ads that were interesting, although it doesn't seem to happen as often as you'd like. More recently, privacy advocates have kind of put pretty severe limits on this, which is why you're constantly now being irritated by the most omnipresent of all pop-ups, which is the "do you consent to use your data for blah 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 blah," and the result is that ads have been devalued pretty significantly. Advertisers can't reach the demographics as easily as they could before, and increasingly websites are looking at alternatives for raising revenue to fund services. And subscription models are that. So if you are a New York Times paid subscriber, you get access to Wirecutter, you get access to their podcast app, you get access to their recipes potentially, you get access to all of their content, and only a annoying amount of ads instead of an insurmountable amount of ads and blurred out text. Hopefully Bluesky goes with the you pay a subscription and you don't get ads model. We'll see. It does seem like it has retained some control over, the creator's ethos in that regard. So, I remain probably woefully optimistic.
I'm not. I'm sorry. Ads. It's everything is money talks. You know what I mean? Everything is based on money, and once I give it 3 years and Elon Musk buys Bluesky. You know what I mean? I just they're it's one of those things that I don't the Dollar Shave Club is the perfect example, right? The whole concept of Dollar Shave Club was the guy created it with this whole the advertising was that uh, you're getting ripped off by buying 3 razors for $22, right? And so here's a monthly subscription service for a razor and a handle. You get 5 razors for $1. Granted, you got to pay $3 shipping, so it's really $4 razors. But as soon and they had a great viral marketing ad campaign, and they even created I don't know if you ever heard of One White Charlie's, which was a whole nother marketing campaign, which was hilarious. And boom, first time it came up in 3 or 4 years old, bought by Gillette.
Yep.
And they're and gone, right? That whole model is gone now. That's the same price. I just feel like so many of these companies may start out with those good intentions, and then somebody drops that they're highly successful, probably more successful than they ever intended. Somebody drops a number on them, and they go, "See ya."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
and then we're left to the same corporate goons that we were before, because believe me, I'm a capitalist through and through, but like I have a degree in economics, and so I understand the nature of this beast, but it still doesn't make it suck any less.
We do have a Mr. Proctor on the chat, so hello, Michael Proctor.
Michael Proctor.
Yeah.
Holy
there
shit, it's Michael Proctor.
Got a genuine
Mr.
celebrity in the chat,
himself.
yeah.
What an honor, sir. It has been way too long since he and I have chatted.
Yep.
Damn.
Sneaky Pete.
I got to hit him up.
Sneaky Pete made a good point. He's saying it's tough when you got businesses that you have to only post certain types of things on certain networks, and with so many options, that becomes very tough. Yeah, I totally agree. The fragmentation of the market, I think, is not universally bad, but it is a direct dichotomy to the benefits of social media. Having everything in one place is kind of a core benefit of social media. Facebook lost a huge amount of its value when Twitter started up, and users moved at least a good chunk of what they were sharing over to Twitter. Or even people who consider YouTube a social network and things like that. There is just different demographics, and it I don't know. I feel like it's unsustainable, but I don't think it's going to rectify itself in the next 10-15 years. It's going to be longer than that before all of this smooths out, unless a bubble pops, which could also happen.
So a quick a tangential thing. I saw Michael posted on, I believe, the Reaper and Clever Crow page, his new wizard that he painted. That was very nice.
I really saw that too. Wizard. I loved the texturing on the fabrics there. It was great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
Yep. I love the colors, and I just always, I've always tell him when we chat and he shows me works in progress and stuff that I love his color choices and placement. He's always I like his vision, we'll say that. How about that?
So Michael, have you joined the Bluesky bandwagon, or are you still living in the old world? Let us know. So I mean, I realize Mike D, that you literally just signed up to Bluesky. Prior to that, where were you actually putting your efforts mostly? Was it split evenly?
Instagram.
It was pretty much Instagram. No. Yeah.
Like I said, I've given up mostly on Facebook. I see we get very little traction on Facebook. We are near 700 followers now on Instagram. And so that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about. Like, if we have kind of a podcast meeting, how do we get to 1,000 and push more and more towards? Honestly, right now, while Bluesky, X are great, Facebook is great, I still think the place to be for mini painters is Instagram.
Yeah, I do think that Bluesky may be eating into that. In the last couple of weeks, It feels like there's been a lot of motion there. And it's ironic that it's being driven by people moving off of a platform that's never really been that miniature painter centric. But I do think that there is some motion there. Michael Proctor is confessing that he is not aware of what Bluesky is, so
fair enough.
Not a user yet.
I only knew about it because of dev.
Yeah,
I only knew about it because of dev. So.
So I should probably call this out explicitly. Bluesky is a social networking app developed by folks that were formerly part of Twitter. It has been a kind of passion project for a while, but it's recently seen quite a lot more usage and uptake and traction as a result of the electoral results. It is driving a lot of users. A lot of its growth is driven by former Twitter/X users. But what I've been noticing as I've used it recently is that it has a lot of growth in the miniature painting community. A lot of folks that I enjoy following, that I missed seeing their work when I left Instagram, are now on Bluesky and are active on it and are posting content there. And, at the moment, presumably they're posting on both, and I don't know how long that will hang on for, but I am hopeful that that folks maybe consider moving over to Bluesky. It is very friendly, very welcoming. It feels a lot like early days of Instagram to me, when I was using it back in, 2017, 2018. It has that vibe for it for sure. And yeah, Michael's saying that he checks it out. He likes Instagram for quick show-offs, but still use Facebook to catalog mini history. I totally get that. I keep all of my stuff in Google Photos. I don't particularly share it, but I have it there and then on a website if I want it. But I feel like Bluesky is filling that Instagram space. If you want to try something else, see what it's like. It's got functionality a little bit more like Twitter, but it's very picture friendly, photo friendly. It's got a really nice, simple support model for alt text, which is nice for accessibility. You can just kind of hit that one button and it kind of reminds you to do it every time, which is nice. It feels like the kind of accessibility thing is not an afterthought with the app, which is nice. My little sales pitch for an app that I have no vested interest in, aside from I've been enjoying using it.
Well, one thing we didn't talk about, right? When we said it was the holidays, these are back. Chocolate covered JoJo's.
Okay.
From Trader Joe's. Have you ever had these?
I've not had those specific ones. I've had chocolate-covered Oreos, which these are obviously not Oreos at all. Definitely not.
They're JoJo's.
They're JoJo's.
JoJo's.
I have had regular JoJo's. I have to admit, I'm not a big fan of peppermint, so that's the break for me.
I don't know, man. Those are like crack. They're like, I once you start in them, it's just like the other thing was, I sat here and ate an entire bag of Trader Joe's teriyaki beef jerky while we were on this show.
I've been trying to get through my back catalogue of imported British biscuits because I'm about to go back home, and so I'm like, well, I might as well finish these ones off instead of just stockpiling them so that I can just refill my suitcase on my next trip back.
For everybody else in the world, that's cookies. Right. When we say biscuits, we mean fluffy, cooked,
You mean poorly made scones. When you say biscuits, what you're talking about are poorly made scones. When I say biscuits, I mean biscuits.
When you have a ham, egg, and cheese on a biscuit,
I'm
not no scone.
I'm a Taylor ham guy. Taylor ham, egg, and cheese.
Really? Were you from New Jersey?
You know what? I don't discriminate, man. If I find good food, I enjoy good food. And biscuits.
That's the only place I've ever seen it on the menu are diners in Jersey is Taylor ham.
It's definitely a Jersey thing, but it is delicious.
You know what the other thing people call it? Canadian bacon. It's the same damn thing.
Yeah, that's also, doing the word bacon a disservice, but,
It really is.
as is the American
really
usage of the word
is.
bacon. Look up British back bacon, and you will discover.
I know what British. I know what it, I know what it is. More like fatback than what we would consider bacon. You know what I mean? The Irish bacon is the same way as the British bacon. You know, absolutely. No. I am familiar with the.
So much better.
Bacon and I have a very good relationship, and I don't discriminate continentally on bacon.
American bacon has its uses, but 9 times out of 10, I would much rather have proper back bacon.
It just depends. It depends. You got I love me some back bacon, but we have a butcher by us that does 1/4-inch thick slices of bacon. So good. So good. And then what we did, we candied it last year. And so
I'm still not sure on candied bacon.
Good.
I'm still not
It's
sure.
So good. It is like food perfection. Right. I'm not, chocolate covered bacon. Okay, it's fine. I enjoyed it, but the candied bacon.
Okay.
Kiss. And I'm so glad people have tuned into an art and podcast about the art and hobby of miniature painting as we discuss bacon. We could loop it back to the Siege Studios commission of them having to paint a bacon-themed Space Marine chapter, which was awesome. If people haven't seen that, you should definitely check out Siege Studios bacon theme. The whatchamacallit, the purity seals look particularly amazing. So basically what we've come to the conclusion is that Bluesky looks like it's pretty good, pretty friendly. There's a shit ton of different social medias out there. There seems to be a growing interest in miniature painters using Bluesky. We're going to start using it here very shortly. So yeah, I guess the ultimate goal is to be across all the social media platforms so you can reach everybody. Except I guess we'll find out in a couple of weeks here whether we're actually going to have TikTok in the US or not. Who the hell knows?
I'd completely forgotten the existence of TikTok. That is one that I am clearly too old for. I gotta say.
Yep.
It goes back to that video thing. If I do not understand written content condensed down to 130 or 260 or whatever it is characters. I do not understand video content that is condensed down to 30 seconds or less. Like, I am perfectly happy watching a 4 or 5 hour movie. I am perfectly happy marathoning through series of a show. I do not have any interest in 30-second videos. I do not have any interest in short form written content. Like, give me a full news article. Let me read the news article. Give me the nuance. Give me the context. The quick hit stuff doesn't do it for me. YouTube Shorts drives me nuts. We haven't heard from Dan in a while. I want to know what social media Dan uses, because I suspect I know the answer, but I want to hear it from Dan. I also think that I may have just introduced Pete to the concept of British style bacon, and you're welcome, Pete, based on the chat. But sorry, Dan, go for it. Social media.
Probably pen and paper is as close as I get to social media these days.
Just
hey, dude, that's better than your flag when you were doing flags before. Was it semaphore? That's with the flags.
And so much quicker than training those pigeons. Yeah, so much quicker than training the pigeons.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't. Well, I do use another form of social media sometimes.
Have you discovered Morse code?
No.
Oh.
Morse code. No. This.
Oh, now your camera works. This whole time.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Waiting for this moment to flick us all off.
Beautiful. That was a moment worth waiting for. And then straight back off camera.
Right. That was the
Oh, I didn't know that was going to go on.
Oh yeah, you went live, sir.
Yeah, shoot, that's a shame. I'm sorry. I was quiet there for a while because I was drinking my nice Southern sweet tea, other than that other type of tea.
I'm an Arnold Palmer man. I like sweet, but not crazy sweet.
You know. But all right, well, I mean, that's kind of where we are. We're at 20 after 10 right now, so even with our delays, we still managed to run over. Um, we're very skilled at that.
Did we have a scheduled time? Are we trying to keep this for an hour? Because that just seems implausible, honestly. Like
Well, you guys added like the progress, so that kind of like takes up some time. And Mike is like, a painting fiend, and he's got like 50 figures he's got to talk about. So we just.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it because that's very rarely does that happen. So I have been painting for. I'm gonna paint tonight for a couple hours before I go to bed after we get off of here. So I'm looking forward.
Oh my
to
gosh.
it. I'm enjoying it, man. I'm right. You got to ride the wave, and busts are really a new thing for me. So like, well, I have probably about 20 of them started. I've only ever finished one. And so, yeah, that was and that was a couple of years ago that I painted a snake back now because I'm like, ooh, that's really bad. But she doesn't know, so that's good. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying. I actually feel like it's easier for me. I understand going from the bigger to smaller than the smaller to bigger. Like as I'm learning on the bust, other stuff for smaller scales is making a little more sense to me, volume wise. I guess maybe because it's kind of painting it in a blown up to then shrinking it down as opposed to having it shrunk down and then trying to blow it up.
Yep.
I don't know. Dev's sitting there shaking his head like, whatever, dude. You know what the hell you're talking about.
I mean, it sounds like 3-ups, right? The way you used to physically sculpt in 3-ups, and then you'd use can I remember what the name of the device is to scale it down to get your master sculpt for painting or for casting, right? I think there's a lot of validity in that statement, but at the same time, I'm not doing it. I love me my 28 mil. Maybe I'll scale that down to 8 mil or something, and I'll just start painting 8 mil.
There you go. Yeah, I'll give you that starter set.
Yeah, those 15 mil Napoleonics. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there'll be 1,200 miniatures for you like that.
Crank through all my red and blue paint, black right there. Yeah, beautiful. Get some French, get some Brits.
There you go. Appreciate everybody being on that is joined us today. Mr. Proctor from Clever Crow Studios who joined us. Sneaky Pete, who is our best friend apparently, and we appreciate him a great deal for spending the time with us, and look forward to hopefully getting to spend some time with both of them at another ReaperCon here in the future. So that'll be amazing, and yeah, we will be back next week at 9 p.m. on Thursday, and we do have interviews scheduled now. So the Chris Chung interview came out last week, which was shocking to death because it only took me a little over a week to produce that one. It was in all fairness, that was a cheater one because the dude's a voice actor to begin with, and so his equipment and like we had to match our quality of our sound to him as opposed to like kind of even everybody out because his skills and voice are very good, but we have as of right now Ruben Martinez and Ben Komitz are on deck for interviews, and so I'm really excited about those. And there's a third one that we'll see coming down the road that I don't want to talk about because I don't want to jinx us. But yeah, Dev and Dan, I'll send you the interview dates in case you do want to join.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you for joining us, everybody, and hope you have a good evening. We'll be back again next week, and we may even have figured out a topic by then. But for now, I don't know what it is.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
There we go. I held out just for you there, Dan.